Good morning, everyone. Very good morning, and a very warm welcome to Lead Scotland here at the National Museum of Scotland. I'm your host, I'm Chris Harvey from STV, and I'm delighted to be here in front of you, and we have an absolutely brilliant programme for you today. Now, I must declare an interest, not a conflict of interest, but an interest. I love advertising. Right. I absolutely love it. Television advertising, particularly. At its best, it is an art form. It can improve and shape our culture and our society. And I absolutely adore it. So, it's too early for audience participation, but you can play along in your head. Cook, 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 cookability, the beauty of gas. I was reprimanded at primary school by my teachers. We were learning our ABCs because I went, Bisto. Linda Bellingham, amazing. And so many others. A Mars a day helps you work, rest and play, indeed. They're just ingrained in us, and it can just be the most wonderful way to communicate. And certainly, it makes such a difference in television, across all media, and in politics too. We're all just storytellers, after all, trying to get our message out, trying to help people live a better life. Now, we have a fantastic lineup today, and diving straight in with the politics. First, we have a keynote from Damien Collins, OBE MP, who will be followed by the Right Honourable Gordon Brown, here to deliver a very special address for us. And then at 10 to 10, my colleague, STV's Laura Alderman, and former desk buddy. Happy days. I think you still owe me a round of tea. We'll be sitting down with MSPs here from Scotland, Murdo Fraser, Faisal Chowdhury, and Ben McPherson in our political panel, before Kenny Farquharson of The Times takes the morning's discussions, digests them, and gives us his unique view on Scottish politics. Next, we'll explore what drives public trust in advertising. Trust, very, very important across all of our spheres. Dan Wilkes from the advertising think tank Credos will be here at 11:15 to present the latest research, followed after the break by a panel discussion with industry leaders. Advertising's social contribution will be the subject of our next session, where we'll hear about the vaccines campaign by the Leith Agency and the IFPMA. Then, at 12:30, we'll be discussing Scotland's role as a world-class creative hub, with LS Productions Filming Scotland, New Commercial Arts and the APA. And finally, the international sales of a favourite of mine, Scotch whisky, and the role in marketing Scotland as a global brand will be the subject of our closing keynote from Glenn Gribben of Bladnoch Distillers. Now, I'm sure you'll agree it's an absolutely packed agenda. We will have a short break just after 11 o'clock. And during the morning, there'll be opportunities for you all to get involved through our question and answer sessions, which will be announced and explained by each session host. Now, you may need to send questions in via Slido. I think there's details of that with the information you have, or if you prefer, we will take questions from the floor. So let's make a start. Let's get cracking with an absolutely brilliant morning we have lined up for you today. And please welcome to the stage Sharon Lloyd Barnes, Commercial Director of the Advertising Association. Sharon, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Very, very warm welcome from all of us at the Advertising Association and our partners for the day, STV and the Marketing Society Scotland. We're absolutely thrilled to be back up here, and it's a beautiful sunny blue sky day as well, which is amazing. For those of you, there might be some in the audience who are a bit less familiar with the AA and our work. We represent the UK advertising industry, promoting and protecting responsible advertising and its contribution to society and the economy. Advertising is an integral part of the world that we live in, with the power to promote products and services, create jobs, and play a key role in behaviour change. Great advertising entertains or moves people. It educates and informs, and the work created in Scotland illustrates all the above perfectly, some of which you'll hear about today. A huge thank you to many of you here today, our members, because you fund the work that we do. You represent the entire industry ecosystem of And our key work streams reflect the priorities for all of your businesses: trust, talent and inclusion, and climate action. We're delighted to be presenting the latest trust research for the first time today. This work has a really special home here in Scotland because we piloted the now UK-wide Advertising Standards Authority ad campaign here first a couple of years ago. And we couldn't have done it without the Scottish agencies and media owners that donated their time and inventory. Ad Net Zero is our commitment to help tackle the climate emergency. It's now a global programme with the big 6 agency holding groups, plus many of the biggest brands and media companies driving this initiative in the UK, the US, New Zealand and Ireland, with several countries set to launch soon. All In is our long-term campaign to ensure that everyone who works in UK advertising feels they belong. With nearly 19,000 responses this year, the All In census continues to be the largest workforce survey of any industry in the UK and of any advertising territory in the world. The Talent Task Force is working on a campaign to promote advertising as a career, and it's also building a training hub to showcase the many courses available to help us develop the skills we need across the industry today. So Lead Scotland is a really special moment for us to gather leaders from Scotland's political and advertising landscapes. Since we last met in November 2019 here in this room, the industry has seen vast change. Then we were coming to terms with Brexit, and if you were here on that day, a shocking revelation from Kenny Farquharson that was set to rock the SNP. No pressure for him today on the briefing that he's going to give us later this morning. But little did we know what was looming around the corner. A global pandemic, something that was going to dwarf all other news and impact our lives in quite profound ways, including how we work. Advertising rose to the challenge with its critical role of ensuring public health messages reached everyone across the UK. And to get a better understanding of how what is now termed the perma-crisis has impacted our industry, we recently briefed Scottish consultancy Bigger Economics to identify the trends in Scotland's ad industry. Today we're able to share the early findings around employment. The Scottish advertising sector is estimated to support over 42,000 jobs across the economy, but the latest ONS figures show that the number of people directly employed across the advertising sector in Scotland has decreased significantly. Jobs in Scottish agencies have fallen from 4,500 in 2015 to 3,000 in 2021, and jobs in media have fallen from 700 to 400 across the same period. This trend differs to what's happening elsewhere in Britain, where collectively advertising employment has increased by 4%. London has gained 12,000 jobs, while the northwest of England has experienced even faster growth, increasing its share by 7,250 jobs. Conversely, Scotland's share has dropped from 4% to 2% in 2021, representing a total loss of 1,800 jobs. Our members have told us about this trend of a talent shift, talent drift, I should say, down south for the last few years. But we're wondering if perhaps this might reverse with the redundancy rounds across the tech platforms recently and the increasing request for staff to return to the office, challenging the ability to work remotely while still living in Scotland, which many seem to want to do. And I'm sure it's no surprise to see where the ad industry is distributed across the country. 2 creative hubs largely remain in the same, with Glasgow accounting for 42% and Edinburgh 31% of the total advertising employment. At our National Lead Conference in London earlier this year, we launched the industry's mission to attract and retain talent. This ongoing analysis will help shape a specific focus on the industry here in Scotland. And we want to use this morning to explore what we can all do to ensure that this brilliant global creative hub thrives, especially here. Whether you're a brand, an agency, a media owner, a production company, or a politician, we all have a role to play in supporting this mission. Our industry, the wider creative industries, and the economy depend on it. Have a great morning.